What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for the ultimate prize on Lock and Load. Brian, let's hear the invitation.
Lock and Load is where we capture 5 spots on the map called locks. To capture, both allies must have a guy on it until it turns green. If the enemy gets a lock until it turns red, it starts a timer bar that ticks until we get it back, and fills faster the more locks he has. If the bar hits full, we lose. All commands cost minerals and gas. Missiles fly in from the edge of the map and deal damage. Shields cover some mineral patches.
So you
can shoot down both missiles and shields.
We have Twotuuu and Zero in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Doing fine.
Great.
Fine. Zero, how do we rank the commanders this week?
So the main threat will be Missile Command. The other two mutators will just be have slightly less money, but it's not the end of the world. Microtransactions was like slightly favor hero commanders, or at least commanders don't really use a lot of units. But other than that, it's mostly just about the Missile Command. Clearing will be pretty easy.
Yeah. How about you, Twotuuu?
So it's mostly about how quickly a commander can clear this map, and missile command is only really a problem when you get to the 15-minute mark. So if you can't clear quickly, can you at least defend against the missiles for like an indefinite period of time?
That makes sense. Okay, let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
So for Abathur, once you get your 6 ultimate evolutions, you can pretty much clear the map, and they're not very expensive to move. Yeah, and Abathur is not really limited by money anyways, so microtransactions is not really a big problem. Yeah, so the hard part, I guess, is just getting the 6 ultimate evolutions. Fortunately, there are a lot of encampments near your base where you can farm for biomass. Even if you don't farm, you can kind of wait for them to come to you, or just like get a few units and kill like the guys at the middle ramp, at least the middle lock, and then you get probably your first brutalist there.
Yeah.
I put Abathur in A.
Okay, how about you, Zero?
I also have him in A tier. He has really easy time clearing. He actually has pretty solid missile command defense with the queens that just regen up all your structures and all the money you have on spores. For the nukes, you can just deep tunnel brutalist, and that will, the symbiote, I believe, will just bypass the PDD. So yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, I think A tier.
A tier? Alright, both of you say A tier? Let's put Abathur in A tier. Prestige-wise, you want no prestige or the second one?
Either one.
Either one. Just not the first one or the third one, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak, so you're probably just gonna be using destroyers to defend, which aren't bad. They have hit scan and they're really fast attack speed. So yeah, while you may have to like know where to spread your destroyers and build very tightly, so that will require you to think something to think about. But it shouldn't be an issue for the most part. His clearing shouldn't be an issue because you can just push in with your mothership and the hero unit. Now his units do take quite a bit of money to move around because they're really supply heavy. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't want to be spam microwing them too much. But other than that, I think he's relatively straightforward. So I have him in B tier.
B tier. How about you, Twotuuu?
Oh, B. Huh. I have the same reasons, but I put him in A just because his mothership is really strong. And Empower Me, the enemies aren't stronger, so enemies would, like entire bases will just disappear once you throw your destruction wave around a few times. So yeah. I thought like he would not be S because of the money stuff. That's why I didn't think he would be B, but I put him in A. I think he's all right.
What do you think, Zero?
So comparatively to like Abathur, he can't hold the missile command as much. So let's say if your ally decides to like not capture the locks as fast as possible, and goes for like bonus, which can very much happen on this map, I think he'll have a slightly harder time defending than like Abathur.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
If you're going for the long game, his destroyers actually do very well against the... You don't even have to look, whereas with Abathur, you kind of have to look back and deep tunnel to the missiles. With enough destroyers, you put Havocs for the extra damage plus range, with enough of those spread out, you actually don't really need to... you don't have to even look.
But you
They'll
can't
just
F2.
automatically kill. Yeah, you can't F2. That's the hardest part. You can't F2. But other than that, it's just yeah. with microtransactions and hero units, you're going to spend a lot more gas than minerals. So you're going to have a lot of spare minerals, and then you can just make extra supplicants or something. I'm not really strongly opposed to B, but I'm not sure like what else is there, because right now for me, I don't have anyone lower than B. So yeah, that's why I put him in A.
What do you think, Zero? Is that sufficient?
I mean, yeah, I do agree this is a pretty easy mutation. The commanders will be ranked pretty hardly. The one thing I'm like somewhat worried about is the lack of healing he has on the structures. So you have to be kind of on point on positioning your destroyers properly, because if enough missiles get through, you will get worn down, like Abathur, who has like reliable healing.
Okay, how about we put him in B for now, and then we'll decide later if he belongs there or if he deserves a promotion.
All right.
Okay,
Sure.
we'll B him for now and then revisit at the end. Arcturus, where do we have him?
So for Arcturus, he does not speed run. However, he is completely not afraid of the missiles. So you just throw bunkers, you have troopers everywhere, your hit scan will destroy whatever missiles, and the splitter missiles are not a problem because you're safe in bunkers. You can just make ESOs in the center and you'll destroy the whole map. Even if it takes time, you'll eventually get it done. The enemies aren't stronger, and you can smash them with your ESOs before they even get close to you. So I put him in S.
S. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I think S tier. He has really good repairs, really good bunkers, and on this map specifically, the waves just stand there for 2 minutes, ready for you to throw contaminated strikes on them or just regular ESO attacks. So yeah, the waves won't be an issue at all. He's probably the best commander at just dealing with the waves. So yeah, I think S tier.
S tier. Okay, unanimous S tier. Very nice. Arcturus goes in S. Prestige-wise, you want any prestige?
I'd say P1, but
First
P3
one?
can also work.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one or third one. Let's move on. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis, so this guy does not have a great time against Missile Command. He will really struggle defending if your ally doesn't want to speedrun with you. Mineral shields are actually somewhat of a problem for him. He can be mineral starved a lot of the time if you're not on top of him. So yeah, you'll probably, it's not huge because you'll be leaving dragoons in your base anyway. So you'll just have to keep track and click the mineral shields when they pop up. But it can be somewhat threatening. Now, he's an army commander also, so if you micro your dragoons too much, you will have way less than you should have. Now, with that said, his top bar is still really good for clearing, and he can do that pretty fast. It's just he can't really stay there for the long game, so I have him in C tier.
Ooh. Ooh. How about you, Twotuuu?
So for this one, I put him in B because I don't have anyone in C. Same reasons. He's not good against any of the 3 mutators. He's not good on this. He doesn't speedrun this map if you are in a duel, because he likes to attack from the back with a like warp in. But if your ally cannot go from the back to capture the lock, then you're just gonna have to eventually clear the front anyways. Otherwise, like yeah, so if you get to the 15-minute mark, missiles are the nukes are just like very, very hard to stop. You have to
Yes.
storm or like have tons of resources spent on dealing with the just surviving missile command. So yeah, he does like there is a way, I guess, if you have unbound fanatics and you throw them in the right places, you could clear a lot of the map pretty quickly. But if you're not sure how or where to do that, you're just like playing normally, it's gonna take some time. So I'm not strongly opposed to C.
Okay, if you're not opposed to C, we'll put Artanis in C. This is good because the more guys we have in low tiers, the more we'll have comments defending those guys in said tiers. This is good. Prestige wise, I guess you want the third one here because you want shield
Yeah,
overcharge.
I'd say P3. Otherwise, your clearing will take a beating, and Guardian Shell doesn't do too much here.
Here's another one who might be controversial. Dehaka, where do we have him?
Oh, interesting one. So in a solo, he has to take both players' missiles, so he's actually not that good. But in a duel, he doesn't actually get that hurt against missile command, and you can speedrun this really quickly. So you can pretty much just speedrun this map before things get out of control. And surprisingly, Dehaka's not bad against the nukes because his primal
Creeper
worms
hosts.
can deal
Oh,
with them, and he pretty much primal worm, Grado primal worm, the Q ability, whatever it is, you just click the nuke and it's gone. For missile defense, you just get creeper hosts, and extra creeper hosts will be used to clear bases. But I don't think you even need that because you can have pack leaders. And I don't remember how fast I did this, but I remember pretty much speed running this, even though I'm not a speedrunner. I put him in S.
Neither am I. I'm not a speedrunner either. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, I agree with S tier. The reason Dehaka is considered bad against missile command a lot of the times because he can't really handle missile command on top of like many other mutators. But if all his resources are just into dealing with missile command, it's actually really easy for him. And that's exactly the case here because he just clears the map with his hero unit and pack leaders, which the pack leaders are, I think, only cost 1 mineral to micro anyway, so you're not going to be losing a lot of resources. So I
Zero
think S tier is
supply.
fair for him.
Both of you put him in S tier. Let's put Dehaka in S tier. Prestige-wise, you want second one, right?
P2,
I used the third one.
yeah.
I used the
P3
third
can also
one.
work.
Double the
Because
slap.
this is why Haka only costs 1 mineral to micro.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix, so I guess he can defend missiles, kind of similar to what Alarak does, but just having air units. Now, those air units are probably gonna be carriers, I'd say, because scouts shoot projectiles at the air, so they'll be getting point defense droned, so that's not ideal. Now, with that said, because you're massing carriers, you're gonna have a decent amount of spare minerals, so you can just throw Caldalis at the problem. But I'm assuming you're just gonna go like P1 here. P2 can probably work, but I'm not sure how good those carriers are at defending missiles. Yeah, clearing, especially with the P1 suits, should actually be pretty straightforward. So yeah, I have him in like A tier.
A tier. How about you, Twotuuu?
I used P2, and from previous missile command runs with P2, you need like 4 carriers a base, regular carriers, to take care of nukes and regular missiles. So they're not. So you have 4 at each base basically. You don't need P1 carriers. The problem I see with Phoenix is that he needs a lot of money to get his like avenging to get the tactical data web and like all his stuff. Even
Yeah.
if you only have Caldalis, like there are also air units. I guess you can use a Phoenix suit. I don't remember how much it costs to use like to move the Dragoon suit or issue commands, but like
Like one
even with
mineral?
talents and stuff.
I
I don't
believe-
know if it's 1 or if it's 10-5.
I believe
But-
normal heroes are 10-5, but Phoenix is 1.
Yeah, I think it's 1.
Caldalis is like 3-3, I think.
3-3. I think it's just
He costs gas for some reason.
Oh, because the champion research? No, not even the champion research costs gas. Yeah, this is a weird one.
I don't know. It's really weird, but
It is.
like he needs a lot of money in order to do well, and he keeps dying. So and you have to reposition your shells, so you're losing more money. And he doesn't have a good way to deal with mineral shields except cannons, which might get blown up by like those
splitter
missiles that
missiles.
come with PDDs.
Yeah.
Those as well. I put Phoenix in B.
B. What do you think, Zero?
Yeah, I'm fine with B. He's kind of similar to Alarak, except you have suits instead of the hero unit and mothership.
All right, fair. Let's put Phoenix in B. Prestige-wise, first or second?
Guess
I
so.
guess either one.
Either one. All right, let's move on. Han and the Horner. Where do we have them?
They're Terran, so they get to repair.
Yes.
That's the only good thing really. Yeah, and like in
Even
order
their
to
airstrikers.
fight
Yeah.
in order to fight nukes, you have to fly and like fly reapers and move towards them. And issuing commands costs a lot of money here, and that's not good. So I think if you use P1, you can get a lot of carrier gallons, so the carriers will just deal with the missiles, but you have more expensive Horner units. You're most likely going to be using Horner units to clean up whatever your top bars haven't cleaned up from like earlier. You're gonna clear the bases with your top bars basically. It's gonna take a while though. I put them in B.
B. B isn't dreadful, or B isn't bad?
B.
B. B isn't bad. Okay. How about you, Zero?
So you know your galleons, right? Your main production structures, yeah, they're gonna get targeted by the missiles. And they get like 5 or 6 shot by them. So you have to be really careful with them because they have a really long time to build again for what they are. I think it's like a minute. So
Really
yeah, you're
annoying.
gonna have to be careful with your galleons, or they're just gonna get blown up by the missiles, and then you lack units to defend more missiles, and it just all goes out of control. But their clearing isn't actually that bad. I assume you're just gonna go P2 here and then just weaken the bases with like strike fighters, and like fly with BCs. And yeah, they do go repairs like Twotuuu said, so they can do that. But still, I think it's slightly awkward. It's also like I think one of the most micro-intensive defenses if you're going for like Reapers, just because you have to consistently fly them, and their static defense, the turret, isn't great either. So yeah, I have a C tier personally.
D tier. What do you think, Twotuuu?
See, I think that's fine because I forgot that they get targeted by missile
I
command.
actually didn't know that. I didn't know that the Galleons get targeted with missile command. That is interesting.
I think it's a discrepancy between Maguro maps and the live maps because on Maguro maps they don't get targeted.
Oh, I don't even notice
And I
that.
haven't played them in the live game for a while, so I'm not actually sure.
I guess I haven't played Hot and Horn a lot either against missile command because I just know they don't have a lot of options. But
It's a somewhat recent change, funnily enough. It started being a thing when the Eminent Domain Galleon bug was introduced.
so funny. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love the bugs. Anyway, do you guys agree with C?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put Hot and Horner in C. Prestige wise, I guess you want the second one.
Probably.
Yeah,
Alright.
more likely second one.
All right, let's move on. Karax, where do we have him?
So you know what's really good against Missile Command? Just being able to out-repair all the damage for absolutely free. Yeah, Karax has this thing called the Repair Beam. It means you can just ignore regular missiles. And for the nukes, you can either build monoliths if you're lazy, or you can just orbital strike them a few times, which you'll definitely be able to do with how much energy P3 has. As for your money, you can do whatever with that. Either just spend it on monoliths, not that you'll need them, but it'll probably make this easier. Or you can just make units to clear, not that it's needed also. The Karax can just solve this whole mission with just top bar. So yeah, I have him in S tier.
S tier. How about you, Twotuuu?
He's not a speedrun commander, but like Megs, he is not afraid of missile command. He's not afraid of going to the late game because
He
he's
wants.
not going to lose to nukes.
He wants to go to the
And-
late game.
Yeah.
his
Pretty
his
much
third
just
scale up.
spread observers.
Yes, yes.
You spread observers, solar lance, and eventually things will just disappear, and then you capture with those observers. S makes sense.
S makes sense. S is for sense. All right, let's put Karax in S tier. Third prestige.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan is she's not very good. Really haven't like way to automatically deal with the missiles. Fortunately, you can easily clear this map with just Kerrigan and using Omega Worms. You can clear this pretty easily by like 12 minutes. So before then, you just dump some spores to like reduce the damage from some of the missiles, but you don't really need to worry about the nukes if you can just beat the map before the nukes come. And she can do this pretty reliably because she does have a button that deletes pretty much everything in an entire area. If you use P2, then you're just going to zap everything in an entire area.
Yeah.
I put Kerrigan in S.
S tier. How about you, Zero?
I also have her in S tier. The worms are really good against missile command because they'll just soak up all the missiles, and if a nuke just happens to go to your base instead of the million worms on the map, you can just bring Kerrigan back and then zap.
I see you! Zap! I see you! Zap!
The nuke with P2 that will bypass the PDDs and probably one-shot it with a single ability usage. So yeah, I think she's just really simple. I'd highly recommend P2 here, just so you can start clearing faster before 10 minutes as well, just stealing with the nukes easier.
All right, so both of you have him in S. Let's put Kerrigan in S. Prestige wise, yeah, you can go 2, you can go 3. You go 0, that's actually fine. Just not 1, right? Just not 1.
Not one.
The whole point is Omega Worms. All right, let's move on. Nova, where do we have him?
Nova. So her defense is slightly awkward. You're probably just gonna use Marines, but Marines, yeah, once the splitter missiles come, they'll start taking damage and probably not healing back up in time. So you'll have to be careful. Now, with that said, her clearing is really good. I assume you're just gonna go P3 here, both so you can have more Marines as well as just easy clearing. Yeah, the lack of minerals will somewhat slow down your clearing. It won't be that noticeable, but you'll probably have like one less airstrike throughout the whole game. But that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, you'll just have to be careful with your marines at the fence. But other than that, I think she's pretty easy. So I have her like A, maybe B tier.
A, maybe B. Okay, how about you, Twotuuu?
With P3, you're like every base is just gone. You can slowly walk to a base and then sabotage. You don't even have to worry about the enemies in the middle because no one's gonna see you. And then whatever's left, like you, after you clear most of the enemies, you just dump a pair of liberators and a defense drone and kill the hybrids that are there, and you're done. You do that for each lock, and then you're gonna finish before 15 minutes. I also did this right before this recording. I did this with P1 and only Ravens, no Marines, no Liberators, not just Ravens, and I had a lot of money for airstrikes because I'm only using Ravens and they're not really moving. So
And you just repair?
I finished that one in 13, like before I finished it before the 14-minute wave captured a lock, so it's like 14:20ish.
Wow. So I just use
So-
repair for the missiles.
Yes, you just
Awesome.
repair everything. And the railgun turrets for the mineral shields, so that because you need money. I put Nova in S.
Ooh, that's a bit different. What do you think, Zero?
So I don't think she can go into that late game as reliably as the other S tiers. Not that she should, but in case your ally just slows you down for whatever reason, which can happen on lock and load. That's
Oh.
probably what's stopping me from putting her very high.
There's one skill, there's one ability that many people don't use, which is you can seeker missile a nuke and it just dies. It goes past the PDD, so you keep one Raven at each base, and then you just seeker missile whatever nuke is coming.
I need
It
to try
doesn't-
that
and
at
then
some
you
point.
repair the rest.
How do you deal with the regular missiles though?
You
'Cause
don't.
that's what
You
I'm-
just repair.
Repair.
You have enough money? 'Cause if you do,
Yeah.
then
Your only unit you're controlling is Nova P3, right? You're just walking around throwing a sabotage drone here and there.
right.
You
Yeah, I guess I can
airstriking
see her
once in
as
a while.
then. Yeah, if you can just out repair everything, then
All right.
sure, yeah.
Yes. All
And
right.
remember that you're only getting half the missiles, so that's even less repairing.
That's true. All right. So Zero can see the S. So Nova goes to S. Prestige wise, you want the third one?
Third one is
Yeah.
a lot easier.
All right. Let's move on. Raynor, where do we have him?
So Raynor, he's not a speedrunner. Fortunately, he's not afraid. He's not really afraid of the missiles, so he can survive for quite a long time. The only problem he has is that it takes him a while to get to a point where he's actually like able to contribute a lot. Because early on, you're completely relying on calldowns for a lot of stuff.
He's
which
like a
can do
Stukov.
stuff-
He's like a
yeah,
Stukov.
you can do a lot when you get to the late game, but until then, you're kind of just sitting there and doing nothing. This is a slow map, so that's kind of okay, I suppose. It's kind of okay, but he's not really powerful with the clearing. He's not as like good as the S one, so I put him in A.
A. How about you, Zero?
Yeah, pretty much what Twotuuu said. He's not fast, so don't expect to like get a lot of kills when playing as him, especially if your ally's quite competent. But I think he's really reliable when it comes to just carrying someone, so A tier makes sense.
So your basis for A tier is not that you can go into a random game and expect to outdo your ally. It's just that the A is based on if you go into the solo queue and get a bad ally, you'll be able to carry them anyway, eventually.
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think Zagara would be top tier most of the time. She
Yeah.
just rolls into stuff and
She
steals
just-
all the
she just-
kills.
Rolls into everything. So it's not based on speed, it's based on reliability. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Raynor's not gonna die to missiles, so by the time you get to the nukes, you should have like bunkers spread everywhere, and you should have some BCs to deal with the stuff and start clearing.
Very nice. All right, so do we put Raynor in A?
Okay.
Yeah.
Prestige wise, you want the third one, or is it even
I'd say
needed?
P3.
You say
Third
P3.
You don't need
Fine.
any prestige, but I'd say P3 is still the best.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on. Stetboy, where do we have him?
That boy. So this guy can repair, and as we learned from the Nova example, yeah, you can out repair missile command, just hero solo the mission. So yeah, I think he's S tier for that also. Super guy just solos the mission, Igorps the waves. Yeah, you just repair at home while you do that, so you'll probably have a slightly harder time dealing with the nukes than Nova. So that might be one of the reasons he might go down to A tier, but I don't know. It shouldn't be that big of an issue. So yeah, I think S tier for now, maybe A.
Okay, that's fair. How about you, Twotuuu?
Today I did a level 5 Stetmann, so as long as you have Super Gary, you can do this in like under 15 minutes, even if you're not max level. If you wish to make units, you make one, just like Nova's Ravens at each base, you make the Brooder, Carrier, whatever, Battle
Mecha
Lord.
Battle
Like a
Carrier
battle cruiser
Lord.
lord.
Mecha Battle Carrier Lord. You make one at each base, and you Yamato whatever nuke is coming, and you out repair everything else. So that's pretty much what you do if
That's genius.
you don't want to deal with the missiles. Like if you don't want to deal with missiles, and then Super Gary can clear everything even better than Nova. Well, not better, but he fights air, so you don't have to like snipe air units and stuff. I put Stetmann in S.
What do you think, Zero?
Oh, I literally said S.
Oh, there we go. Stat point S. Second prestige. Let's move on. Stukov. Where do we have him?
So Stukov is gonna be a popular choice because of microtransactions. His P3 is fine. It's just like Raynor. It's gonna take some time, but it's pretty reliable.
That was familiar.
The
Raynor's
the
just like
issue with
Raynor's just like Stukov. Stukov's just like Raynor. Very nice.
The issue with P3 Stukov is that if your bunkers are not, like if your units are moving towards the right and the nuke is coming from the left, especially like if it comes from the left, you might not be able to turn around and kill in time. So you will need another way to deal with those missiles. Either
Broodlings?
put a barracks or
Oh.
put like 3 liberators.
I was thinking
And-
Broodlings, but
yeah.
that sounds more reliable.
Yeah, so I put Stukov in A.
Hey, how about you, Zero?
I personally had them in S tier. The bunkers will just the stream of infested from the bunkers rather will just handle most of the nukes. So you only have to worry about like the sum from the back, from which the liberators should just handle it pretty easily. He also has an AFK way to deal with mineral shields through the Diamondbacks, which is nice.
That's
The
true.
mission he just sends infested at it.
That's
So yeah, I
true.
don't think it should be an issue. Like it's similar amount of attention you need to like sending in Raven missiles or Battlecruiser Lord Yamatos at nukes as just right clicking them with liberators.
So you're saying S?
Yeah.
What do you think, Tutu?
I'm not strongly opposed to that. I just want to remind you that the Diamondback slime can kill mineral shields, but the Diamondbacks get killed by splitter missiles.
It's
So if you're not
fine.
careful, the Diamondbacks.
I mean, you'll have a
you
patrolling
better
SCV
repair them.
anyway for repair, so it'll repair the land back as well. Fine.
No, some people, because they think that they have bunkers, they don't have patrolling SCVs. And
You know what? That's
That's-
fair. That's a fair point. All right.
so, yeah, you should have patrolling SCVs, probably like 4 at each base or something, just to make sure. I think S is fine.
S is
I
fine.
guess.
All right.
Oh,
S is amazing.
Moving the bunkers, though, man, it costs 8 to move a bunker. No, 16, because 8 to uproot, 8
8
to root
supply.
again.
Oh, there we go. All right. So Stukov S tier. There we go. Prestige wise, you want the third one, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
still do the first one if you want like bunkers rather than factory bunkers, but you know you want a lot of guys to throw at the aim on. Let's move on. Swann. Where do we have him?
Swann, so your missiles won't be a problem for this guy. While his turrets aren't hit scan, they just fire a bunch of projectiles, so they'll get rid of PDDs quite easily. For pushing, you have a top bar. Yeah, top bar is good. You just nuke an area, and then you probably clean up with some units. If you want to do the funny route of just spamming factories with E1, yeah, that'll probably work here. The factories will also, just like Kerrigan worms, they'll just tank all the missiles, so you won't even need that many, what are they called? Spinning dizzies? I think that's the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You actually
So
don't
yeah,
need any
factories
spinning
tank.
dizzies because once you get the fire suppression systems, you don't even need to repair.
Alright, yeah, and you can just drill the nuke, so that will be pretty easy. Yeah, I have him in S tier.
All right. How about you, Tutu?
I put him in A because he's slow, but I guess because he's not afraid of missile command and he will eventually. But it's to me feels similar to Raynor, where like he's not fast. He's not fast, but he will eventually get things done. He also doesn't do much. well, he can throw a concentrated beam every 3 minutes. But like aside from that, he's gonna just basically he's waiting for enough wraiths to actually make a difference. Because if you only have like 3 or 4, you're not gonna do much with that. So I put him in A.
All right, Zero, are you gonna make a case for S?
I see the argument for him being like Raynor. It's just what actually separates Raynor from the S tiers. Now that I think of it, It's just like,
He's really slow, like really slow.
I guess so. I don't know. Like if you go like P1 Swann, the clearing shouldn't be that slow because you can just fly a factory in, and then the P1 drill will do its work. Like you can clear this entire mission with just factories and P1 drill. So yeah.
You know what?
I-
I see your point. I definitely see what you mean. Twotuuu, are you convinced?
I think I'm gonna have to try that.
For now.
I think that's fine.
So Swann goes to S?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess.
I definitely see the point. Like, yes, he's slow, but he's not Raynor level slow. He can still contribute with the factory floating around. And he does still have the... If you go for that prestige, you still have the splash laser. Or if you want the other prestige, you still have concentrated beam. And you can still do the warbot stuff. I mean, if I were to play this, I mean, wraiths are nice, but like mass Thors would fail. It's fun also, and it's not that fundamentally different. I guess you're slower when ping ponging back and forth, but like it's not Raynor slow is all I'm saying, because you don't need to. Your repair is free. You can fast build. You don't need to spend more on your units because you're not taxed with the rebel raider tax. So he's not Raynor slow.
There's one more thing I can see that's different from Raynor, which is that if you're massing factories, you don't care about the enemy comp, whereas Raynor kind of does. Because if they have a lot of anti-air, like armored air, like Goliaths or Dragoons, you might
That's
lose
fair.
a lot of battle cruisers. Whereas factories, you don't care if they die.
And factories don't care about Vipers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. Swann goes to S tier.
He's also just way
Prestige.
more forgiving than Raynor because you don't have to like keep track of when the wave is and
He's
prepare for it.
chonkier.
You kind of just drill it.
He's just chonkier than Raynor. Okay, let's move on. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus plays pretty much normally. So you just play normally, and
He's just a chill guy.
eventually, yeah, I put him in S.
How about you, Zero?
God, this whole tier list is gonna be S tiers, but it's 100% justified.
It's
Yeah, you
just-
just push with Tychus. You can probably keep Cyrus at home to defend, or you can just push with him to finish the
Cyrus?
map even better. Wait, how do you say it? I keep getting confused with that. Serious? Yeah, okay, yeah, that guy. You know the guy I mean. Yeah, you can push with him, you can defend with him. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think S tier.
S tier? Alright, S tier. Okay, is this guy S tier? Vorazun.
No.
No, he's not a guy also, so no to both questions. So
Come on.
yeah, you're probably just
it's-
gonna
It's a gender neutral guy. Come on. Even girls can be guys.
defend their neutral guy. Okay,
Yeah, neutral guy. Yeah.
sure. Anyway, so you're probably just gonna defend with Corsairs. No, it's this map. Yeah, this map. She is not good here. Yeah, you know that good thing, the top bar of Vorazun that allows you to just clear a base every 4 minutes? Yeah, she can't use that, because if you do, you'll anger all the production buildings on this map, and they'll just keep sending dudes to the locks, and it will be a pain, not for just you, but for your ally also.
Yes. That being
Now-
said, I did test this. I did test this offline. I have the video unlisted on YouTube, and I can release it anytime. But basically, I did a test where I basically spammed time stop whenever I can lock and load, and it didn't really affect it that much. I mean, they did send guys, yes, but like nothing that like a couple cannons can't handle. I don't know.
Here, you can't even make cannons, because they'll just get blown up by missiles.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying that I did the run as Vorazun on a regular brutal mission, and spamming time stop didn't affect the ending that much for me. I just had like 4 or 5 cannons in each lock, and it slowly cleared and it eventually won. But yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so she's also an army commander, so yeah, not missile command, microtransactions will hurt her pretty badly, especially because she really needs that gas. Yeah, her clearing, if you're going for Corsairs, also won't be very fast either. So she's somewhat slow. Of course, not like Raynor tier slow, but still pretty slow. Yeah, she has no repair on her structures. Corsairs are okay, but yeah, they take a while to get out, and even then, they're not amazing. Yeah, I have her like C tier.
C tier. How about you, Twotuuu?
I put her alongside Artanis and Han Horner. So
They were
I'm
B for
guessing
you.
it's gonna be. So like she doesn't clear quickly. The only thing she's better than the bottom two is that her Corsairs can defend forever, pretty much. Like they're not afraid of nukes. They shoot so fast that nukes don't matter and PDDs don't matter. But her clearing, her army is just not gonna be good. It costs so much just to move each time, and every time you move, your army you're gonna lose like 20 plus gas. So
Yes.
it's not good. I think I put her in B because it's with Han Horner Artanis, but I think C. If it's C, it would be at the top of C, but that's for later.
All right, top of C. What do you think, Zero?
Yeah, I said C tier. And I agree with top of C also.
All right,
But that's for later.
She has 1 prestige. Keep her of Shadows. If you have to use time stop, you might as well have Shadow Guard for it, or free Shadow Guard. Let's move on. Zagara. Where do we have him?
So Zagara, she sucks so bad against missile command. However, she does have bio launchers, which can not good against the nukes. They're bad, but they can deal with the mineral shields, so you don't have to look at them. That's
Yes.
very helpful.
Very helpful.
If you're using P3, you can pretty much clear the map with just Zagara plus her hunter killers plus whatever, and you could do it pretty quickly. Not like Kerrigan levels, because you need to spend a lot of money and stuff, but still pretty decent at clearing the bases. And as long as you do it like you clear bases quickly enough, you don't have to worry about nukes at all. You just make a few spores to not die.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you should be able to clear most of the map by yourself pretty fast. So I put her in A.
Oh, okay. How about you, Zero?
I personally have her in C tier. She just can't defend missiles. It's like, yeah, you can clear decently fast, but what if your ally wants to do like the bonus? You can't bring down the bonus that quickly.
Or worse,
so
what if
people
you want to do
struggle.
the bonus?
Oh god. Yeah.
I've seen so many Zagaras waste like 2 entire max outs at the bonus. What a nightmare. Oh.
I don't think she's good.
So you think C?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
I think that's if your ally doesn't want to capture, that's like there's nothing you can do. I guess with other commanders, you can kind of hold off or like do something with the bonus, but I don't know. In my own run, I finished by 15 minutes, so like by myself. So if you have someone doing anything, even if it's like a Raynor with a Hyperion, I think it should be faster than that.
Here's the thing, I think she's good in solo, but in duo, if you get like a ally that delays the game slightly, she just falls off.
Does she fall off that quickly though? Because Bailings are still pretty awesome at clearing attack waves from the side.
Attack waves, sure, but
It's
I
just
don't
the
think attack waves
missiles.
are the issue. Yeah, it's just
I
the
know.
missiles.
Theoretically, she can just ram Scourge at it. It could probably be brought down by like 2 or 3 Scourge.
Yeah, but P3
are
Scourge
just not
especially
good at
are really
destroying
expensive.
missiles.
Yeah,
Are
like, the
they?
ratio for P3 Scourge is insane. How much gas you need? It's far more than other prestigious.
That's true, but you know, do you want to save those gas just at the cost of dying?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just that you probably won't be able to afford as many as you may need.
I don't know. Personally, I think even the first prestige is fine here. You'll eventually get enough free stuff. You will be able to clear the bases even with.
Wait, you
stuff
can't
presented
say
to you.
that.
I think P1's bad. P1's not good here.
You will get free
You
stuff
can't
though.
Not good
That's
because it
good.
costs too much to move.
Yeah.
Like instead of spending just money on Zagara moving, you're spending like a ton to move like 50 units, 20 to 50 units.
It doesn't go. Your money doesn't go below 0. Theoretically, your money doesn't go below 0. So as long as you keep spending all your money and throwing your stuff at the enemy, then theoretically you won't get taxed because you're at 0 already.
Yeah, but then you won't gain money because every money you spend is gonna be gone. So as long as you're moving, you're not making money either.
That's true.
Hunter killers only cost 1 to move. move. So you just make 600 killers and like move them.
Or right click them at the missile. So what's the verdict here?
I don't see her being A tier. Maybe B tier, but I think A tier is just way too high.
Her clearing capabilities are really good.
Yeah.
She's really good at clearing.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. That's why I
and
think
this
she's
map,
I think she's good in solos, definitely. It's just about duo if you get a slightly annoying ally that just delays the game by going for like bonus.
The latest I've gotten with an ally who intentionally delayed the boss was like 21 minutes.
Yeah, pretty big
what you
difference
can
with like
do
15.
is if your ally is going for the bonus, you tell them, I'm gonna die soon. And if they won't stop you, then just die. And show them, I can't survive this. Hurry the hell up.
Yeah, but the A tiers could
You know-
survive it.
You know, an ally who wants to do the bonus no matter what, instead of understanding that you have nothing to throw at the bonus, will demand that you throw whatever you have at the bonus. Like, you know those kinds of those players who see nothing but the bonus. Like, they will not complete the main objective unless the bonus is also done.
I consider allies who just want the bonus as griefers. So you can't really factor in like people who refuse to capture locks.
All right.
They're in the same level as griefers to me.
Your
It's
words, not mine. All right, so A or B?
I'd say B. She just can't survive as well as the A tiers.
What do you think,
It's
Twotuuu?
not like clearing is an
Alright.
issue on this
Like,
map.
I think I can see the B part because the A's can survive even if it gets really late, whereas the Zagara might not. But just remember that if you're in a duel, like pre-made duel, I think Zagara has A tier power.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right,
But in the pub, maybe not.
all right.
So it just depends on your ally.
This depends on your ally. There we go. B. It's not bad. Even though I said bad earlier. B is not bad. Zeratul, where do we have him?
Yeah, monoliths are good. They bypass point defense drones, so nukes won't really be an issue. You also have sentries that just repair you.
Shield guards, yeah.
So yeah, there are also hit scan that do decent damage, so yeah, those guys can also hold off nukes.
Yes.
As well as just repair your structures, so you won't be getting worn down over time. As for clearing, you have your hero unit, which is good. You also have top bar, which is also good. The Abathur can demote guys inside the base, and then those demoted guys will just run back to your defenses, which is decent clearing. It's pretty much like a nuke from other commanders. Not that you necessarily want to use it that way, because you can still buff Zeratul with it. You can also go P3 if you'd like. I'd still probably stick to like P2 or P0, but that's just me. Yeah, I think no matter what, he's just S tier still.
Okay, Twotuuu, did you try no mining here?
No, you can't do no mining with missile.
With
command.
missile command. Yeah, I was thinking. Anyway, what do you think?
You don't like you have monoliths, those are so good, but even if you don't have monoliths, for example, when you're at level 1, you can just mass shield guards. So you don't even like monoliths just make things even easier.
Yeah.
S
I actually used shield guards in offense. Can you believe that? And they push just fine. Believe it or not. Let's put Zeratul in S tier. Okay, so we put Alarak in B tier. Do we move him to A tier, or he stays where he is?
I think
First,
he
yeah.
can be.
Stay in B
Yeah, I
tier.
think he stays.
All right then. So do we have a double S?
Maybe?
I feel like if you double S one, you double S all of them.
Alright.
Kind of.
I think Karax is like maybe a league above the others.
A league above the others?
Possibly, maybe, kind of. See, like his top bar is just way too good, and it doesn't only clear and just deal with enemies, it also just trivializes missile command completely. Like it's to the point where you and your ally don't even need to make static defense to get rid of them, so you just out repair it.
You know, I recently learned that Architect of War Chrono Boost also speeds up the recharge of the Zeratul's Tesseract monoliths. So I can actually just
Oh yeah, it also does
spam
that for
them.
like Tychus, Medivacs,
It's actually
Hunter Strike
insane.
Fighters, and deny the swarms.
It's so insane. I
Or
love it.
Mega worms rather.
Anyway, so whew. If it's not unanimous, it's not double S. So do we have a double S, Twotuuu? Is Karax double S?
I can see Karax as being the absolute safest pick, no matter what your allies doing or choosing. Because like for even the speed run commanders, you have to like go back and defend missiles and stuff if it actually gets to the late game. Whereas Karax, you can just like take your sweet time, and you're not under any pressure to do anything quickly at any time.
Okay, so that's top of S. But is it double S? An S tier among S tiers.
See that good. I think orbital strike costs. Does it cost 10?
10.
No, I think it's free.
No, it's 10.
Is it?
It's 10.
Well, it shouldn't be.
It's 10. I played
Yeah.
this.
Solar lance is 1, right?
I think so. Orbital strike is 10. I played this before. Like 10. Oh my goodness.
Spending 10 to get rid of a mineral shield or 2. Ugh. Not that it's gonna be a big deal, but
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
think there's a double S.
All right.
Fair enough.
Double S are supposed to be really difficult to get, but he's top of S. So who's second in S?
Zeratul?
Zeratul.
Then
Kerrigan?
Not Kerrigan. Because Kerrigan, if it really gets late, is not as good as some of the others.
Arcturus.
Maybe.
Yes, him or Stukov. Stukov or Swann. No, not Swann. But
Tychus.
Well, see, I put Swann besides Stukov. P1 drill is just really good for factories.
all right.
Yeah, you basically have twice the health of Omega Worms around the map that tank missiles, and you can just right-click the nuke with a drill if you need it, or just spam turrets. After that, I guess Tychus?
Tychus. He has auto turrets too. Auto turrets
Yes.
make a line, and even splitters will do nothing.
Is
Dehaka
Tychus better than
afterwards?
Swann?
No, at least I don't think so.
I know they're both an S, but it's like they do different things
One wins, the other also wins.
in a different way.
Who's next?
I feel like Tychus is better than Swann because Tychus, he has hit scan, so he also clears very fast. So if you want to speed run with your ally, fine. If you want to play slow, you can also do that.
So does that also put him above Tychus or above Stukov?
I think could say that as well.
I think his missile defense is slightly less reliable than like Swann personally.
It's slightly worse, but his pushing is much better, and
Sure.
the speed too.
I guess it just depends which one you want to prioritize. Like, I'd personally take the good defense just so I know I can win without having to really rely on an ally.
You can call it a
It
tie.
might just be
You
me.
can call it a tie.
Sure.
All right, and then among these four, Stetboy,
I'd say Dehaka.
Dehaka.
I put Dehaka at the bottom.
Really?
Why?
I thought he had good missile defense, like the worms and creepers.
The earlier game could be
Oh yeah.
Work.
Your build can get pretty low in the early game, and if you
But it
lose
just gets
Dehaka,
low. It doesn't die.
Oh yeah, farming with Dehaka is expensive.
You don't need to
So you
farm.
might just
You have
farm
pack
with
leaders.
Dehaka or don't farm at all.
Yeah, that's what pack leaders are for. You have like 2 worms by the time first wave actually reaches your base, so that shouldn't really be a threat.
it is if it's Zerglings.
I mean, you just leap once, then 2 worms, and just slapping the Haka handles the rest.
Yeah.
So that's 10 minerals to deal with a wave.
I mean, contrast that with penetrating blast done, or I guess
Penetrating blast is also 10.
I mean it's a lot easier and it's a wider radius, or you can just go sabotage drone, clear that secret missile, and just
The way I see it
be
is they're
super
both
cloaked.
really good at clearing, but the Haka has better defense.
better defense.
Like attack wave defense.
Missile command defense.
Dehaka?
Yeah, if he can put all his resources, creepers just can't handle it.
If his allies
Worm.
base is burning, what does he do?
His ally space is burning.
He
I don't know.
cries.
Cries, I guess.
Nova
You
can
can always defend his
Nova
base
can
also.
repair his allies base.
Yeah, but it's only if it's mechanical base. If you see like your allies base getting low, you can just
If
put
it's-
like some creepers
If
on
it's
there.
biological, can their repair drone heal it?
No, because it's a structure.
Yeah, you
Very
can.
sad.
But like Nova, if your allies Artanis or something, you can throw a group of Marines and it'll last for quite a while.
Nova, if your ally is Zerg, you can force him to be at the lock and end the game. Or, any race. You can force him to be at the lock and end the game. No, you come here.
He'll just F2A move away.
That's why I said if he's Zerg, I would airlift the overlords.
Can he
You
airlift
can't
the
airlift
overlords?
workers, right?
No, he
Not
can't.
not workers, but I
Only
think
worms
overlords.
that's bad.
Overlords can get lifted.
Really? I thought it's only
Yes.
like
I think so.
overseers.
Overlords can get lifted.
And since they're not part of F2, they might not even notice.
Yes, that's what I say. That's what I said. That's why I said Zerg. You You Griffin left the overlords.
The perfect opportunity for P2 Nova.
Oh my goodness.
This is what Blizzard had in mind when designing this prestige.
You're giving it too much credit.
I think it's more or less tied, right? These last guys. It's
Yeah.
like
All
Yeah,
right.
I think they're all really good.
All right, let's call that high. Between Raynor and Abathur, who's better?
Abathur,
Abathur,
Okay. Who's top of B? Alarak,
Alarak,
Alarak.
and then Zagara,
I'd say so.
Yeah.
and then Fenix. Top of C, Vorazun,
Vorazun.
then
Artanis, probably.
Artanis.
Han Horner repairs, right?
They repair,
That's
but their
true.
production also gets destroyed in like 5 missiles.
We can also repair that, and they get repair drone. They
I-
get hangar drones eventually.
I feel
This
like
hits
Han
bad also.
Horner clears map a lot more easily because the top bars, well, you have 2 of them plus 10 strike fighters. Artanis has a solar every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and orbital
maybe
strikes.
Unbound Fanatics.
I guess Artanis army will also just be getting crippled by like the random point defense drones that are flying from missile command around the
Yes.
map. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see Han Horner being higher.
All right, so that's it. Okay, guys, watch Twotuu's videos. I will link them down below. I'll see you guys next time.